Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 2021 Polaris RZR Pro XP Ultimate. I know it says RZR, but it is apparently pronounced Razor. And yeah, this has 668 horsepower, 682 pounds-feet of torque from a 2-litre turbocharged inline-4 engine. The car itself now weighs 1,974 pounds. Has its standard all-wheel drive and off-road suspension, but it has off-road racing tyres to go with it, and it can now do 0 to 60 in 3.449 seconds, 0 to 100 in 5.85 seconds, and going to a top speed of 152 miles an hour, which is not particularly quick. We've definitely had far faster cars on this series go, to around that kind of speed or more on this course. So yeah, we could well be hitting the rev limiter at points, but yeah, even worse than that is the handling, which as you can see is only 3.0. The rest of the car is pretty much good, especially the acceleration, launch, braking and off-road capability, but yeah, that handling stat is a little bit worrisome, especially since it might well be due to the fact that it's quite high riding and quite soft in its suspension, and at the end of the day this wasn't even meant to go around 90 miles an hour. It wasn't even going to come close to 100 miles an hour in stock form. So yeah, which is just about 181 horsepower, but it's more about initial acceleration with this car in the stock form, which is why it's only got a CVT gearbox, which is basically a 1-speed gearbox. So yeah, that's why it's not particularly quick at the top end. So yeah, we're definitely going to be going a lot faster in it on this series with these level of upgrades. So yeah, hopefully that handling stat won't be too much of an issue, because like I said, the rest of this car is pretty much solid. Top speed is not the best, but if we can be doing 150 mile an hour for a large proportion of this course, then we will be on for a fast time. Certainly not going to struggle to get up to that speed in any hurry. And obviously it is quite small, lightweight, and therefore going to be a nimble vehicle to drive. That all-wheel drive system is again native, just like it was in the Subaru Brat, which I was expecting that car to be quick, but it unfortunately wasn't, despite all of its positives. This has those positives while also being a far more modern vehicle, so hopefully that'll work out in its favour. Now I do need to highlight the fact that these cars in real life are an absolute danger, because even though Polaris were warned about a crucial safety issue in terms of the exhaust running too near the rear end of the car, well, the rear part where that separates the passenger from all the engine stuff. Basically, the exhaust was making everything melt, and in terms of the plastics and anything else that could be behind the driver, and it was setting vehicles on fire. And despite this, Polaris never changed a thing for several years, resulting in the deaths of at least, I think, 4 people, injuring plenty of others. And because these have obviously got a really, really popular, not just a vehicle to use on just for messing about, but obviously they are used by law enforcement, they are used by fire departments, people who actually use them for cattle driving or anything like that. So it's a very work-intensive vehicle. It's not just a vehicle clowning around in. And yet, despite all of that, Polaris didn't change a thing for years, and eventually they got sued. But apparently, even so, some people have still reported heating issues with the exhaust and the like. So yeah, that's why I haven't reviewed this, because I really didn't feel the need to give it an eye in terms of a review, because frankly I would have just been slating it for those things, to be honest, more than anything. So yeah, but it's doing well here, but I do not recommend buying one for it. Not until those safety issues have at least been sorted out, which apparently haven't been. But it's putting in a good showing here at least. It's not getting up to the fastest of kinds of speeds. Really limited by its underpinnings, which, even though the gearbox has been changed, is still obviously not providing us with the most amount of speed. The off-road capability is second to none, but even so, we are slower than the Subaru Brat. by around 3 seconds, or they're just under. So yeah, far from a quick car, and it's also a car that will set you on fire as well. So yeah, not particularly impressive, but as we have seen plenty of times on this series, vehicles that are meant for going off-road, built for going off-road, are not necessarily going to be the fastest. And yeah, weirdly enough, this is as fast as a Ford Transit Supersport van, which is definitely not a vehicle for going off-road. So yeah, but it does at least beat the Land Rover Defender 110X, the Ford Bronco, the new one, as well as the likes of the Toyota Land Cruiser AT37, the Sierra Cars RX3, which is another similar kind of vehicle to this, as well as a Toyota Tundra DRD Pro. But yeah, like I said, it's slower than the Subaru Brat GL, which put in a good time, well, certainly a far better time of 3 minutes 25.814. So yeah, nearly 3 seconds behind that, which means it's also slower than a Bentley Turbo R, a Subaru Legacy RS, and a Cadillac XTS Limousine. So yeah, not particularly quick, and yeah, it didn't struggle too much in terms of the off-road bits, and didn't get thrown around as much as I feared it might, given how little it weighs and how high the centre of gravity is and whatnot. But yeah, by no means a quick car, and definitely not a car I'd trust with my life in the real world either. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching. You can get this car by getting 20 points in the current festival playlist, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.